Question 21. Which of the diagrams correctly represents the network shown? Looking at this network very well, you find out that 1, 2 is directed. 1, 4 is directed. 2, 4 is directed. 5, 4 is directed. The only undirected line here is 2, 5. So when we look at all of the diagrams that we have, we find out that only B has fulfilled this condition, because without the arrows, it indicates that it is bidirectional for 2, 5, while all the other lines are directed. So this gives us C as a key. Question 22. Which of these rotation matrices is not correct? Let's look at the first one. Rotation 180 degrees. This is actually correct, as you saw in the previous video which I presented. 90 degrees clockwise rotation. This is also correct. The negative is on the top right. 90 degrees anti-clockwise. This is also correct. The negatives at the bottom right. But 360 degrees rotation, this one is not correct. 360 degree rotation is the same as the identity matrix. It is just equal to the identity matrix, because when you go through 360 degrees, you come back to the same point in which you find yourself, which is just the same like 0 degrees rotation. Question 23. Which of these regions satisfies this inequality? Note, inequalities can be solved the same like equalities, but the sign is very, very important as far as dividing or multiplying both sides by negative numbers are involved. And equally, the solution is represented not by single values, but by a range of values. So we can just do this one by testing. The endpoints here will be x equals minus 3 and x equals plus 2. So we just have to test. If we used, for example, 0 lies between minus 3 and 2, if we put 0 into this equation and test, we will have 3 times minus 2, which is minus 6, and it's not greater than 0. Therefore, the region between minus 3 and 2 is wrong. The correct region is outside. So minus 3 less than or equal to x and x greater than or equal to 2 is the correct solution. Alright, 24. Find the value of x, the angle given. When you look at all the angles there, we see that one of the angles is 90 degrees, and the sum of all the angles that form this particular figure is equal to 360 degrees. So when we sum all of these angles and equate to 360 degrees, simplifying and solving for x gives us 80 degrees as our answer. 25. Find the length of the side y. When you look at this question very well, it's just the same like a geometric progression. And in this particular case, we will have y divided by 3 to be the same as 3 divided by 2. And when we cross multiply, we are going to find that y is equal to 3 times 3 divided by 2, which is 4.5. The 6 is just there to distract, except the axis of the area. You can now use this value to calculate the area of this triangle. Question 26. The total surface area of a cylinder of radius r and height h is... The total surface area of a cylinder is equal to the sum of 2 of the base areas, that is the 2 round faces, that is 2 times pi radius squared, and times the area of the rectangle that is formed by opening out the cylinder completely. That gives us 2 pi radius, which is the circumference times the height. When you factorize this, you have 2 pi radius times radius plus height in brackets as the total surface area. Question 27. The second and fourth terms of an AP are respectively 9 and 5. What's third term? For an AP, it is very, very easy to obtain the third term if you are given the term before and the term after. For example, you have the second and the fourth term here. The average of these two terms must give us a term in between. And if they ask for the eighth term given the seventh and ninth term, just take the average. So as shortcuts, this just gives us the value of 7. Question 28. Which of the following is not correct? The first one is a chord, correct? The second one is a segment, wrong. It's not a segment, it's a sector. And a segment is actually a section of a circle that is formed by an arc which does not normally pass through the center, and a chord. So this one is actually a sector, but there is some sort of a point of coincidence where the two meet, and that's not our point of interest right now. C is equally correct because the tangent which touches the circle at just one point, and D is an arc, as you can see, just a section of that circle. So the only wrong key here, should I say wrong key, wrong alternative here, is B. 29. If vector OA equals small a, OB equals small b, and OP equals k times small b, find BP. BP here will be to move from B to P, you have to move from B to C and from C to P. But note, to move from B to C is the same like minus small a. The problem now here is to move from C to P. We know the total distance from O to P is KB, but from O to C is B. So from C to P should be KB minus B. And when you factorize that, you have K minus 1B. Now, including the minus A to give us minus A plus K minus 1 times B. And we can swap their position so that it resembles what has been asked in the question. And we have C as the alternative here as the correct value. Question 30. If the polynomial P is such that P of K equals 0, and then K equals is a constant term of P of X, not correct. Is the value of P of X not correct? Is a factor of P of X. This one is like a trick, but this is not actually a factor because a factor is of the form AX plus B. This one is just B. So the only correct answer here is a root of this polynomial. To have a copy of this paper, you can log into our blog gcemathpanel.blogspot.com and you get a copy of this paper and other GCE material to help yourself with